Welcome to my channel. Darren's Villaging and More presents Department 56 Item 55117, Lighting the Jack-O-Lanterns, Reimagined for 2025. If you like this video, please like and subscribe for more. Here we have one part of the Department 56 Item 55117, Lighting the Jack-O-Lanterns. This figure was introduced in December of 2000 and retired in December of 2003. It is made of a somewhat soft, malleable resin. One thing that I immediately liked about this piece is the detail of the jack-o'-lantern faces and the rock wall. However, the solid yellow or off-orange LEDs do leave a lot to be desired. Normally, this is a set of 3 with a wall of jack-o'-lanterns and 2 children that accompany it. After reviewing the marketing materials from Department 56, I'm actually okay with not having the missing figures, as this piece was very early on into the Department 56 Halloween line. Both of the missing figures have the classic Snow Village white base, which by today's Halloween Village standard doesn't really work, and I have seen multiple instances online where people have painted them. I purchased this on eBay for $10 US out of season. Come join me as I reimagine the jack-o'-lanterns for 2025 by first removing the old LEDs and electronics. Welcome to the bench. Here we have the Department 56 jack-o'-lantern wall. So as I'm looking at the piece over, we definitely have our standard 30 gauge wire coming in at the bottom and held in place with some hot glue. Looking around the base of the pumpkins, I can kind of see a little bit of glue, and I'm hoping that there's no epoxy in play here, but I suspect there probably will be. So using my hairdryer on high heat, I'm going to be heating up the pumpkins, just back and forth a few times, flip it over, and then I'll apply pressure and see if they start to break free. Now that the pumpkins and wall are quite warm to the touch, I'm going to go ahead and apply positive pressure in the center to see if I can break the pumpkins free from the wall. Now, the center section is one solid piece of pumpkins, and it did start to break free from left to right, whereas the pumpkins on the end are individual pieces. Now, as you can see, the pumpkins have pins on the back, and I did not realize this when I was breaking it down, so I did break a couple off, and that's okay. I would be using plenty of hot glue in the future to put it all back together. Now, here comes the problem. Looking at this circuit, it is held in place by epoxy. Epoxy on resin essentially is fused together. So what I'm going to do now is a good old-fashioned demo day. Everybody loves demo day, so this is basically going to be pure carnage to rip out this circuit. There's no saving any of these LEDs or really any of the wire that is in the top part of the figure. So with it heated up, I'll use my pick tool and pliers to rip it all apart, and then we're going to be off to the garage to drill out and clean up the top channels of the figure. Welcome to my garage bench. So I need to clean up the channel for the wire that goes up through the pillar. Now I'm using a 5/16 drill bit, and I'm going to run this through several times, and also over to the side. This will take care of any of the glue and excess wire that remained behind. When I was breaking this down, there's definitely quite a bit of wire and various parts of LED left in the top part of the figure. So I'll be using this and then a drill bit and Dremel to work on the top. Alright, 20 minutes in, and I am in the final stages of cleaning up everything that I've been working on. So I'm currently using a burr bit on my Dremel to finish up the channels on the bottom of the pillar. I have used a 5/16 drill bit to go through the pillar for the wire channel, and a 5/32 drill bit on each LED mounting point. Now, the channels for the wire between the LED, I've used my Dremel bit to clean out. And welcome back to the bench. Here you can see the LEDs that I have picked out for this project. I also have the ohm resistors down below them. Now, I am using a combination of flickering yellow and flickering orange LEDs for this. Now, being that I'm using the original 3-volt power source, a 3-volt LED, I would have 0 volts to accommodate for. However, I would always put a 1 ohm resistor on the LED just to protect it. Now, because I do not want this to be full brightness, I'll be using a 68 ohm resistor with plus or minus 5%. all of my lights will be wired in parallel. I will be reusing some of the original wiring that came with the figure as well. So let's get started. Now that this tiny circuit is complete, let's go ahead and apply some power and check our LEDs. And they work outstanding. So we can go ahead and move forward, placing the pumpkins over top to see how this is going to look. Now, as you can see, they're definitely a yellow and orange LED that I used. And to me, already, this is looking 1,000 times better. Let's move on to reassembling the figure. Today we're going to be using our Michaels low temp hot glue gun and low temp hot glue to reattach the pumpkins to the wall for both the centerpiece and end pieces. Now, when I was breaking this down, I did not realize that the pumpkins had pins that held them in place to the wall, and I did break a couple of them off. One of the end pumpkins is completely sheared off, and a couple for the centerpieces. But we have hot glue and plenty of it. I originally tried a dab of hot glue on each of the pumpkins and held it to the wall to see if that would be sufficient. However, it did require significantly more hot glue and pressure to hold the pumpkins in place while the glue firmed up. So as you can see, I'm holding the centerpiece right now, adding more glue to this end piece, and this is definitely one of the ones where I broke the pin off. Once the pumpkins are fully dried, I'll go ahead and move it back over to my village for the final reveal. And here we have the Department 56 lighting the jack-o'-lantern's wall moved back to my Halloween village for 2025. I could not be happier with how this turned out. To me, it adds just the right amount of whimsy and fun and chaos in a section of my Halloween village that just needed a little oomph. This is going to be the first item that I have reimagined that I'm going to put a difficulty level on, and on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being easy and 10 being hard, it's a 10. This is not for the faint of heart. Definitely take your time if you take this project on, but the results speak for themselves. There's a lot that can be done here. Let me know in the comments, what did you think about this project, or what you would have done differently? Thank you for watching. This has been Darren's Villaging and More presents Department 56 Item 55117, Lighting the Jack-O'-Lanterns, Reimagined for 2025. If you like this video, like and subscribe for more.